This is a residential community, not a farm. All those unauthorized restrictions removed.
Karen Whitmore had ruled Maple Grove Estates for 6 straight years like a queen with a clipboard. As HOA president, she wasn't just enforcing rules, she was inventing them. Paint shades, lawn heights, the exact angle trash bins had to face. Neighbors feared her emails more than power outages. So when the Alvarez family moved in, Karen immediately flagged them as a problem. Not because they were loud, not because they broke rules, but because of their garden. Behind their modest townhouse, the Alvarezes had built something beautiful, a lush, vibrant backyard filled with vegetables, fruit trees, and flowering plants, tomatoes climbing trellises, peppers, okra, herbs, even a small beehive. It wasn't messy. It was thriving. Karen hated it. This is a residential community, not a farm. She snapped during her first visit, heels sinking into the soil. She cited aesthetic violations and claimed the garden reduced property value. Mr. Alvarez calmly showed her HOA documents. No rule against gardens, no limit on plants, no violations. Karen smiled. 2 days later, the Alvarezes woke up to the sound of engines. An HOA contracted landscaping crew was in their backyard. Before anyone could stop them, hedges were ripped out, raised beds smashed. The beehive knocked over. Fruit trees cut at the trunk. Karen stood at the gate, filming on her phone. Unauthorized structures removed, she said sweetly. You're welcome. By evening, the garden was gone. 10 years of work, destroyed in under 40 minutes. Karen sent an email blast to the community. HOA successfully restored visual harmony to Lot 32. What Karen didn't know, what she couldn't know, was that this wasn't just a garden, it was legally protected. And she had just committed the biggest mistake of her career. Karen slept like a baby that night. She genuinely believed she'd won. The next morning, Mr. Alvarez posted a single photo in the community group chat, a picture of the destroyed backyard, and a document. The headline read, State Registered Pollinator Habitat and Urban Agriculture Protection Act. Suddenly, the comments exploded. Turns out the Alvarez garden wasn't just a hobby. It had been officially registered with the state as a protected urban pollinator site. The beehive was licensed. The fruit trees were part of a conservation program. The entire garden qualified for legal protection under environmental and agricultural law, meaning no private organization, including an HOA, had the authority to touch it. Not even Karen. Within hours, a state environmental officer showed up at Maple Grove Estates, then a representative from the Department of Agriculture, then a lawyer. Karen tried to play it off. I was just enforcing HOA aesthetics, she said confidently. The officer looked at her and replied, You authorized the destruction of a protected ecological site. That one sentence changed everything. The Alvarez family didn't scream, didn't argue. They simply handed over their registration papers, insurance records, and before and after photos. The fine estimate alone, $48,000. And that was just the beginning. Because now it wasn't about plants. It was about illegal environmental destruction, property damage, and abuse of authority. Karen's name was officially recorded in a state report. And for the first time in 6 years, the HOA president realized something terrifying. She wasn't in control anymore. If this story already shocked you, like, share, and subscribe, and tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? Karen went into full damage control mode. She sent out 3 emails in one day. First, she blamed the landscaping company. Then she claimed miscommunication. Then she tried to rewrite history, saying the Alvarezes had given verbal consent. The problem? The landscaping crew had body cam footage, and in that footage, Karen was clearly heard saying, Don't worry about permission. I'm the HOA president. That clip spread through the neighborhood like wildfire. Suddenly, people who'd been silent for years found their voices. A retired veteran posted screenshots of fines Karen had invented. A single mom shared how Karen threatened foreclosure over a chalk drawing on the sidewalk. Another neighbor revealed Karen had redirected HOA funds to consulting fees paid to her cousin. The HOA board called an emergency meeting. Karen tried to control the room like she always did, but this time nobody was scared. The Alvarez lawyer laid everything out: illegal destruction of protected property, environmental law violations, financial misconduct, abuse of power. The word personal liability hit Karen harder than any insult ever could, because this meant the HOA wouldn't shield her. She was on her own. Her voice started shaking. This is getting blown out of proportion. That's when the state officer interrupted. Ma'am, you are under investigation. Dead silence. Karen had built her entire identity on control, on authority, on humiliating others. Now she was the one being documented, recorded, audited. By the end of the meeting, Karen was suspended as HOA president pending legal review. 6 years of power gone in one sentence. And the lawsuit, it was officially filed. Karen thought losing the HOA position was rock bottom. She was wrong. 2 weeks later, the official judgment came in. The state ruled that Karen had willfully authorized the destruction of a protected environmental site, falsified HOA authority, and misused community funds to carry out the act. The numbers were brutal. Karen was personally ordered to pay $48,000 in environmental restoration costs, $17,500 in property damages, $9,000 in legal fees, plus a civil penalty for abuse of authority. Total, over $74,000 out of her own pocket. The HOA refused to cover a single dollar. Her consulting business exposed as fake. Her cousin under audit, her real estate license suspended pending investigation, and the humiliation, the same landscaping company she once bossed around was hired, this time by the state, to rebuild the Alvarez garden under official supervision. Karen had to watch. Every tree replanted, every raised bed restored, a new sign placed at the gate, state-protected pollinator habitat, tampering is a criminal offense. Neighbors started calling it the Karen Memorial Garden. She tried to sell her house. No buyers. The lawsuit record followed her name. In the end, Karen didn't just lose power, she lost reputation, money, career, community. The Alvarezes got their garden back, bigger, protected, and funded by the very system Karen tried to abuse. And Karen? She became the warning story every HOA board now tells. If this ending satisfied you, like, share, and subscribe for more real lifestyle justice stories, and tell us in the comments, where are you watching from?